Did you know that not all vegetables are good for people with diabetes? While veggies are generally healthy, some can actually spike blood sugar and lead to unexpected consequences. In this video, we'll reveal the top 10 vegetables that diabetics should avoid to stay on the safe side. All the information has been reviewed by health and nutrition experts, but always consult your doctor before making dietary changes. What do you think? Have you had any experiences with these vegetables? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with those who might find it helpful, and follow our channel for more valuable health tips. Let's dive in. Number 1. Corn, a hidden risk for blood sugar spikes. Corn is a staple ingredient in many diets worldwide. We find it in salads, soups, tortillas, and even snack foods. It's sweet, versatile, and filling. But for those managing diabetes, it can be a risky choice. Even when eaten in moderation, corn has a surprisingly high carbohydrate content that can impact blood sugar levels more than expected. Just 1 cup of cooked corn contains about 21 grams of carbohydrates. To put this into perspective, many health professionals recommend that individuals with diabetes aim for 45 to 60 grams of carbohydrates per meal. That means a single serving of corn could account for nearly half of that allowance, leaving very little room for other nutritious carbs like whole grains, beans, or fruits. What makes corn even trickier is its glycemic index (GI). Foods with a high GI cause faster blood sugar spikes. On a scale of 0 to 100, corn has a GI of around 52 to 60, depending on how it's prepared. While this is considered moderate, it's still high enough to cause fluctuations that may be difficult to control, especially when paired with other high-carb foods. Beyond whole corn, its processed forms pose an even greater challenge. Corn syrup, commonly found in sodas, candy, and packaged foods, is one of the biggest culprits. This syrup is essentially concentrated sugar. Studies have shown that high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, is linked to insulin resistance, a major factor in type 2 diabetes. According to a study published in Global Public Health, 2012, countries with higher HFCS consumption have a 20% higher prevalence of diabetes than those that consume less. Even corn-based products marketed as healthy alternatives can be misleading. Corn tortillas, corn chips, and even popcorn contain starches that quickly break down into sugar. Eating these regularly can make blood sugar control even more challenging. That's why the American Diabetes Association recommends prioritizing whole, fiber-rich carbohydrates over refined ones. So, what's the alternative? Instead of corn, we can opt for non-starchy vegetables that provide essential nutrients without the blood sugar spike. Leafy greens like spinach, fiber-packed broccoli, and water-rich zucchini are excellent substitutes. These options offer vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants while keeping carbohydrate intake in check. Adding more fiber to meals can also help slow down sugar absorption. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition, 2015, found that increasing dietary fiber intake by just 10 grams per day can lead to significant improvements in blood sugar control over time. This simple change can be a game changer for anyone managing diabetes. Small swaps can make a big difference. Choosing a side of roasted Brussels sprouts instead of corn, or replacing corn tortillas with lettuce wraps, helps keep blood sugar levels more stable. These adjustments don't just improve glucose management, they also support heart health, digestion, and overall well-being. Ultimately, being mindful of how much and how often we consume corn is key. While it doesn't have to be eliminated completely, awareness of its impact can help us make smarter food choices. Managing diabetes is all about balance, and every small decision adds up to better health in the long run. Number 2. Green peas. Have you ever had a moment when you thought you were making a healthy choice, only to later find out it might not be the best option? Green peas might be one of those foods. They seem innocent enough. After all, they're green, packed with fiber, and full of nutrients. But when it comes to blood sugar control, there's more to the story. Wait, so you're saying green peas aren't good for diabetes? That's a common question, and the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It all comes down to their carbohydrate content. 1 cup of green peas contains about 21 grams of carbs. To put that in perspective, that's almost 5 times the amount found in a cup of spinach. When managing blood sugar, every gram of carbohydrate counts. According to the American Diabetes Association, the key to stable blood sugar is choosing foods with a low glycemic index. Green peas, however, fall into the moderate range, meaning they can cause a quicker spike in blood sugar than other non-starchy vegetables. That's why some dietitians recommend limiting portions or swapping them for lower carb options like zucchini, cucumbers, or broccoli. I thought all vegetables were good for me. So, should I stop eating green peas entirely? Not necessarily. They do have some fantastic benefits. They're rich in vitamin K, vitamin C, and fiber, which help with digestion and overall health. But when we're talking about diabetes management, we have to balance the good with the not so good. A 2022 study by the National Institutes of Health found that people who reduced high-carb vegetables and replaced them with leafy greens experienced a 10 to 15% improvement in glucose regulation over 6 months. That's a big deal. This means small dietary changes can make a significant difference over time. Imagine you're at dinner and green peas are on your plate. What's the best approach? Instead of avoiding them entirely, try mixing them with low-carb vegetables to even out the overall carb intake. For example, a half cup of peas combined with a cup of sautéed spinach creates a balanced meal that won't spike blood sugar as much. Okay, so I don't have to give them up, but how often can I eat them? That depends on your overall diet. If your daily carb intake is already on the higher side, you might want to keep green peas as an occasional side dish rather than a staple. Pairing them with proteins or healthy fats, like grilled chicken or avocado, can also slow down sugar absorption and help maintain steady energy levels. Every meal presents an opportunity to make a healthier choice. Simple swaps, like choosing green beans or asparagus instead of green peas, can support better glucose control while still keeping meals flavorful and nutritious. It's not about eliminating foods, but about making mindful decisions. At the end of the day, green peas can absolutely be part of a balanced diet. The key is to enjoy them in moderation, be mindful of portion sizes, and keep an eye on total carbohydrate intake. When we focus on small, sustainable changes, we set ourselves up for long-term success and better overall health. Number 3. Vegetable oils. Many of us have been told that vegetable oils are a better choice than saturated fats. They seem to be everywhere, in salad dressings, frying pans, and packaged foods. But here's the problem. Not all vegetable oils are created equal. Some can be harmful, especially for those managing diabetes. The biggest culprits? Oils high in trans fats and processed seed oils that trigger inflammation. Research has shown that trans fats increase insulin resistance, making blood sugar control significantly harder. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who consumed a diet high in trans fats had a 34% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This is a serious concern for those already dealing with diabetes or prediabetes. Partially hydrogenated oils, such as those made from soybean, palm, and corn, are among the worst offenders. These oils go through industrial processing that alters their chemical structure, turning them into something our bodies struggle to handle. The result? More inflammation, increased LDL, bad cholesterol, and a higher risk of heart disease. For individuals with diabetes, whose cardiovascular health is already at risk, this is an added danger that shouldn't be ignored. The key issue is oxidation. Many vegetable oils, especially those high in omega-6 fatty acids, oxidize quickly when exposed to heat. This oxidation creates harmful compounds that contribute to inflammation, a major driver of insulin resistance. A 2018 study published in Diabetes Care linked chronic inflammation to worsening blood sugar levels, showing that people with higher inflammatory markers had a 26% higher chance of diabetes complications. So, what can we do? The first step is awareness. Check ingredient labels. Many processed foods sneak in these unhealthy oils under names like partially hydrogenated or just vegetable oil blend. Fast food and fried snacks are often drenched in these fats, making them a hidden threat. Fortunately, there are better alternatives. Extra virgin olive oil is a powerhouse of health benefits, packed with antioxidants and monounsaturated fats that support heart health. Avocado oil is another excellent option. It has a high smoke point, making it great for cooking while staying stable under heat. Grapeseed oil, though lesser known, is also a good choice for those looking for a neutral-tasting oil with beneficial properties. Switching to these healthier oils isn't just about avoiding the bad stuff, it's about actively choosing ingredients that nourish our bodies. Cooking at home using quality oils can make a significant difference in overall health, energy levels, and long-term diabetes management. Studies suggest that a Mediterranean-style diet, rich in olive oil, can reduce the risk of diabetes by up to 52%, a compelling reason to make the switch. Some might wonder, does this mean we should avoid all fats? Not at all. Healthy fats are essential for absorbing vitamins, maintaining brain function, and keeping us full and satisfied. The key is choosing the right ones and avoiding those that silently harm us over time. Number 4. Butternut squash, a sneaky carb source? Butternut squash is often praised as a nutrient-dense vegetable. It's rich in fiber, vitamins A and C, and essential minerals like potassium and magnesium. But here's the catch. Despite its health benefits, this vibrant vegetable is surprisingly high in carbohydrates. And for those of us monitoring blood sugar levels, that's something to consider. Let's be real for a moment. When we think of healthy foods, we often assume that all vegetables are fair game. But that's not entirely true. Some vegetables, especially starchy ones like butternut squash, behave more like carbs than we might expect. Wait, butternut squash? Isn't that supposed to be a superfood? You might be thinking. Well, yes and no. While it does pack a nutritional punch, it also contains about 16 grams of carbohydrates per cup, which, for context, is more than double the carbs in a cup of broccoli. But I always thought veggies were low carb. That's something we hear all the time. And while leafy greens like spinach and kale fit that description, others, like sweet potatoes, peas, and butternut squash, can lead to unexpected blood sugar spikes. According to the American Diabetes Association, managing carb intake is one of the most effective ways to keep glucose levels steady. Studies have shown that high-carb foods can trigger a 20 to 30% increase in blood sugar within an hour, especially in people with insulin resistance. Now, this doesn't mean we have to eliminate butternut squash entirely because, let's be honest, it's delicious. The key is balance and awareness. If you're aiming to keep your blood sugar steady, consider pairing butternut squash with a source of healthy fat or protein. Think of it like this. A nutritionist once told us, eating squash alone is like taking a roller coaster ride, fast energy, quick drop. But pairing it with fats or proteins, that's like cruising smoothly on a straight road. If you're looking for lower carb alternatives, spinach, kale, and cauliflower are excellent choices. I used to eat butternut squash all the time, thinking it was my best bet for a healthy side, one of our viewers, Jessica, shared with us recently. But after switching to roasted Brussels sprouts or zucchini, I noticed I felt more energized and less sluggish after meals. That brings us to another tip: portion control. Instead of having a full serving of butternut squash, why not try adding just a handful of roasted cubes to a salad or soup? That way you still get to enjoy its rich, creamy texture without overloading on carbs. A little goes a long way, as another friend of ours, Mark, likes to say. This is why mindful eating is so powerful. Making small adjustments doesn't mean we have to give up the foods we love. It just means we learn to enjoy them in a way that aligns with our health goals. So what's your take on butternut squash? Have you ever noticed how it affects your energy levels? Let's chat in the comments. Your story could help someone else find a better balance in their own diet. Number 5. Yam. Yam is a starchy vegetable that many people enjoy, but when it comes to blood sugar management, it's one to approach with caution. It's high in carbohydrates, which means it can cause noticeable spikes in glucose levels. A standard 3/4 cup serving of yam has a glycemic load of 9.3. That might not sound like much, but for someone managing diabetes or trying to keep their blood sugar stable, this can lead to complications. The rapid rise in glucose levels can be difficult to control, increasing the risk of hypoglycemia or insulin resistance over time. Carbohydrates aren't all bad, but the type and how fast they are absorbed matter. Yams contain simple carbohydrates that break down quickly, leading to a rapid increase in blood sugar. Think of it like fueling a fire with dry twigs. It burns fast but doesn't last long. This quick absorption can create a cycle of energy crashes, mood swings, and cravings for more sugar. For those already struggling with blood sugar regulation, this can make daily management even harder. Studies have shown that foods with a high glycemic load contribute to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. A 2021 study published in Diabetes Care found that people who regularly consume high glycemic foods have a 33% higher risk of developing diabetes over time. This means that even healthy, natural foods like yam need to be eaten mindfully, especially for those with pre-existing conditions. One of the biggest issues with yams is how easy they are to overeat. Roasted, mashed, or fried, they're delicious in almost any form. But because they digest so quickly, they don't keep us full for long. This can lead to overeating, which further compounds blood sugar spikes. If you've ever felt hungry again just an hour after eating a meal heavy in starchy foods, that's why. For those who love yams but need better blood sugar control, portion size is key. Pairing yams with fiber-rich vegetables, lean protein, or healthy fats can slow down digestion, reducing the spike in glucose levels. For example, adding a serving of leafy greens and some grilled chicken can balance out the meal and make the effects on blood sugar more manageable. But if you're looking for an even better alternative, consider gooseberries. These small, tart fruits are a powerhouse for blood sugar stability. Unlike yams, gooseberries are low in carbohydrates and have a glycemic index close to 0. They help regulate insulin levels and prevent the energy crashes that come with high-carb meals. Plus, they're loaded with antioxidants, vitamin C and A, and fiber, which all contribute to better overall health. Gooseberries have also been studied for their positive impact on diabetes management. Research from 2022 found that people who consumed gooseberries regularly had a 20% improvement in insulin sensitivity after just 8 weeks. This means the body is better able to use insulin efficiently, reducing the risk of blood sugar spikes and crashes. We don't have to eliminate yams completely, but we do need to be smart about how and when we eat them. If yams are a favorite, try eating them in smaller portions and pairing them with foods that slow down their absorption. This way, we can enjoy them without the unwanted blood sugar roller coaster. When making diet choices, small swaps can make a huge difference. Replacing a carb-heavy side with a nutrient-packed alternative like gooseberries is a simple change that can lead to better energy levels, improved mood, and more stable blood sugar throughout the day. So next time we're planning a meal, let's think beyond just taste. Let's choose foods that nourish and sustain us without compromising our health. Yams are tasty, but for long-term wellness, we might just find that gooseberries are the better choice. Number 6. Celery. A surprising risk for people with diabetes. We've all heard it. Celery is a great snack. It's crunchy, low in calories, and practically carb-free. Perfect for weight loss. Perfect for diabetes. But is it really? Let's pause for a moment and look beyond the surface. There's something most of us don't think about when we grab a bunch from the grocery store. What else is coming along for the ride? Wait, you're telling me celery isn't healthy, someone might ask. Not exactly. Celery itself isn't the problem, it's how it's grown. Most people don't realize that celery is one of the most pesticide-contaminated vegetables on the market. And when you have diabetes, that's something worth paying attention to. Each year, the Environmental Working Group, EWG, publishes a report called the Dirty Dozen, a list of the fruits and vegetables with the highest pesticide residues. Celery is almost always on that list. In fact, in 2023, testing revealed that a single sample of non-organic celery contained traces of up to 13 different pesticides. Imagine that. 13 chemicals coating those seemingly harmless green stalks. Okay, but does that really matter? It's just a little bit of pesticide, right? That's a fair question. But here's the thing. Research has linked long-term pesticide exposure to insulin resistance, metabolic issues, and even a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. According to a study published in Diabetes Care, people exposed to high levels of pesticide residues were more likely to struggle with blood sugar regulation. This means that while celery itself won't spike glucose levels, the toxins on it might be doing silent damage over time. For those already managing diabetes, inflammation and immune function are key concerns. Pesticides have been shown to contribute to chronic inflammation, a major factor in diabetes complications. And the worst part? Unlike some other vegetables, celery's unique structure makes it highly absorbent, meaning it holds onto these chemicals even after a quick rinse under the tap. So, should we just stop eating celery altogether? Not necessarily. But if celery is a regular part of your diet, it's worth making a switch to organic whenever possible. Organic farming methods use fewer synthetic pesticides, significantly reducing exposure to harmful residues. If organic isn't an option, soaking celery in a vinegar water solution for at least 15 minutes can help remove some of the surface pesticides, though it won't eliminate everything embedded deep in the fibers. What if I don't even like celery? No problem, right? Exactly. There are plenty of other great low-carb, hydrating veggies that aren't as heavily treated with pesticides. Spinach, kale, cucumbers, zucchini, and bell peppers are all fantastic alternatives. Not only are they safer, but they're also loaded with essential vitamins and minerals that support overall health. At the end of the day, it's all about making smarter choices. Diabetes management isn't just about counting carbs or watching sugar intake. It's about reducing overall health risks. The food we eat should nourish our bodies, not introduce harmful chemicals that work against us. Number 7. Parsnip. Some vegetables seem harmless, but for those managing diabetes, appearances can be deceiving. Take parsnips, for example. They may look like innocent white carrots, but their carbohydrate content tells a different story. A single cup of cooked parsnips contains about 24 grams of carbohydrates, including 6 grams of sugar. That's enough to cause a noticeable blood sugar spike, making it a risky choice for anyone trying to keep glucose levels stable. Why does this matter? When blood sugar rises too quickly, the body struggles to produce or use insulin effectively. This can lead to hyperglycemia, a condition that over time contributes to severe complications like heart disease, nerve damage, and kidney failure. According to the American Diabetes Association, consistent blood sugar fluctuations can significantly increase the risk of cardiovascular issues, which is already a leading cause of death among diabetics. The problem with high-carb foods like parsnips isn't just the immediate impact on blood sugar. It's also about what happens in the long run. Studies show that regular consumption of high glycemic foods contributes to increased insulin resistance. This means that over time, the body becomes less responsive to insulin, making blood sugar management even more difficult. In some cases, this could lead to higher medication doses or the need for additional treatments. But here's the good news. Making a simple switch can make a huge difference. Instead of parsnips, we can opt for vegetables that provide essential nutrients without the glucose roller coaster. One of the best choices? Spinach. This leafy green is packed with vitamins A, C, and K, along with important minerals like magnesium and iron. Plus, it's extremely low in carbohydrates, meaning it won't trigger sharp blood sugar spikes. Spinach also contains powerful antioxidants, which help combat inflammation and support better insulin sensitivity. A 2015 study published in the journal Diabetes Care found that individuals who consumed more leafy greens had a significantly lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This suggests that regularly including vegetables like spinach in our diet can be a protective factor against worsening insulin resistance. Another great alternative to parsnips is cauliflower. It has a similar texture when cooked, making it an easy substitute in soups and purees. With only 5 grams of carbs per cup, it's a much safer option for those looking to keep their blood sugar in check. Plus, cauliflower is high in fiber, which helps slow digestion and prevents sudden glucose spikes. We don't have to give up hearty, comforting meals to maintain balanced blood sugar levels. By making small, smart swaps, we can still enjoy delicious foods while protecting our health. Roasted zucchini, turnips, or radishes can offer a satisfying crunch without the high-carb load of parsnips. These options bring unique flavors to the table while keeping glucose levels stable. The key takeaway: knowledge is power. Understanding how different foods affect blood sugar allows us to make better dietary choices. Small changes, like replacing parsnips with low-carb vegetables, can have a big impact on long-term health and diabetes management. Number 8. Broad beans. Hey, have you ever thought about how some so-called healthy foods might not be the best for diabetes management? This is a question we get all the time. One surprising culprit? Broad beans, also known as fava beans. While they're often praised for their protein and fiber content, their high carbohydrate levels make them a risky choice for those trying to regulate blood sugar. Let's break it down. A single cup of broad beans contains around 12 grams of sugar. That's a lot when you consider how quickly those sugars can lead to blood sugar spikes. Wait, really? Yes. Many people assume natural sugars don't count, but for those with diabetes, every gram matters. According to the American Heart Association, daily sugar intake should be kept below 25 grams for women and 36 grams for men, which means 1 cup of broad beans takes up nearly half the limit for some people. Now, let's talk about calories. A 1-cup serving of broad beans contains about 111 calories. That doesn't sound like much, you might say. But when we consider how quickly calories add up, especially when paired with other high-carb foods, it can contribute to unwanted weight gain. Studies show that even a 5% reduction in body weight can lead to improved insulin sensitivity. Weight gain isn't just about how we look. It directly affects how our bodies process glucose. The CDC reports that obesity increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by up to 80%. That's a huge number. And when we eat calorie-dense foods like broad beans regularly, we increase the likelihood of weight-related complications. But what if I just eat them in moderation? That's a great question. The issue isn't just occasional consumption but regular intake. Consuming high-carb, high-calorie foods too often can lead to metabolic syndrome, which includes high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and increased blood pressure. A 2022 study from the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that a low-carb, high-fiber diet significantly improves blood sugar control and reduces heart disease risk. So why not make better choices daily? Here's a better alternative: green beans. Wait, green beans? How are they different? They're significantly lower in carbohydrates and calories. A cup of green beans has only 31 calories and 3.6 grams of sugar. That's a major improvement. Plus, they're packed with fiber, which slows down glucose absorption and prevents blood sugar spikes. Okay, but what about nutrients? Another great question. Green beans are rich in vitamin C, vitamin K, and folate, all of which support overall health. Their fiber content helps with digestion and keeps us full longer. Plus, they're great for heart health by lowering bad cholesterol. Unlike broad beans, they won't send blood sugar levels soaring or contribute to weight gain. The best part? Green beans are incredibly versatile. How can I use them in meals? You can steam them, stir-fry them, toss them in salads, or even sauté them with garlic and olive oil. They pair well with lean proteins like grilled chicken or tofu, making them a delicious, diabetes-friendly option. Number 9. Sweet potatoes, a hidden risk for diabetics. When it comes to managing diabetes, diet plays a crucial role. Some foods that seem healthy at first glance can actually pose risks, and sweet potatoes are a prime example. Many people assume that because they are packed with nutrients, they must be a safe choice. But for those with diabetes, sweet potatoes can be surprisingly problematic due to their impact on blood sugar levels. One of the main concerns is a glycemic index, GI. The GI measures how quickly carbohydrates in food raise blood glucose levels. Sweet potatoes, particularly the orange variety, have a high GI, sometimes reaching as high as 70 on the scale, nearly as much as white potatoes. This means they can cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, making them a risky option for diabetics who need to maintain stable levels. Another important factor is glycemic load, GL, which takes into account both the GI and the actual carbohydrate content in a typical serving. A medium-sized sweet potato contains around 23 grams of carbohydrates, with a glycemic load of about 13 to 17, depending on the preparation method. That's high enough to cause significant fluctuations in blood glucose, especially if consumed in large portions. Studies have shown that maintaining stable blood sugar levels is key to preventing diabetes-related complications. According to the American Diabetes Association, keeping post-meal glucose spikes under control can reduce the risk of nerve damage, kidney disease, and cardiovascular issues. High GI foods like sweet potatoes can make this challenging, particularly for those with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. Many believe that all sweet potatoes are the same, but their impact on blood sugar varies by type. The orange flesh variety is the highest in sugars and starch, making it the most likely to cause a spike. In contrast, the purple or white varieties tend to have a lower glycemic impact, but they are still best consumed in moderation. For those looking for healthier alternatives, avocados offer an excellent option. Unlike sweet potatoes, avocados are low in carbohydrates but rich in healthy monounsaturated fats, which can improve insulin sensitivity. A 2013 study published in the Nutrition Journal found that people who eat avocados regularly have better overall metabolic health, with improved blood sugar control and lower risk of type 2 diabetes. Another advantage of avocados is their fiber content. A single avocado provides about 10 grams of fiber, which slows digestion and prevents sudden blood sugar spikes. Fiber is essential for diabetics because it helps with appetite control, reduces cravings, and stabilizes energy levels throughout the day. Of course, this doesn't mean sweet potatoes should be entirely avoided. If consumed in small amounts and paired with fiber-rich foods, their impact can be minimized. Boiling sweet potatoes instead of baking or frying them also lowers their glycemic index slightly, making them a somewhat better choice. Ultimately, managing diabetes requires informed food choices. Sweet potatoes, while nutritious, should be eaten with caution, and better alternatives like avocados can provide essential nutrients without the risk of blood sugar spikes. Anyone managing diabetes should consult a healthcare professional to tailor their diet for optimal health. What do you think? Have you noticed how different foods affect your blood sugar levels? Share your experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Number 10. Leeks. Leeks may seem like a harmless and tasty addition to meals, but they are not the best option for individuals managing diabetes. While they bring a mild, onion-like flavor to dishes, their carbohydrate content is higher than you might expect. In just 100 grams of leeks, there are about 14 grams of carbohydrates, with only 1.8 grams coming from fiber. That leaves a net carb count of over 12 grams, which can impact blood sugar levels more than some other vegetables. When it comes to blood sugar control, keeping an eye on net carbohydrates is crucial. Unlike fiber, which slows down digestion and helps stabilize glucose levels, the remaining carbs in leeks can contribute to spikes in blood sugar. This makes them a less than ideal choice for those trying to maintain steady glucose levels throughout the day. Another concern with leeks is their fructan content. Fructans are a type of carbohydrate that can be difficult for some people to digest, leading to bloating, gas, and discomfort. According to a study published in Gastroenterology in 2018, approximately 15% of people experience digestive sensitivity to fructans, which can make leeks an irritating food choice. For diabetics who already deal with dietary restrictions, adding digestive distress to the mix is far from ideal. So, what can we use instead? Onions and shallots are excellent alternatives. They offer a similar depth of flavor while being lower in net carbohydrates. A 100-gram serving of onions contains about 9 grams of carbs with nearly 2 grams of fiber. That small difference can have a meaningful impact on blood sugar stability over time. Beyond their lower carb content, onions and shallots bring additional health benefits. According to a 2020 study in the Journal of Nutrition, onions are rich in antioxidants and compounds like quercetin, which have been linked to reduced inflammation and improved insulin sensitivity. This means they don't just taste great, they actively support metabolic health. It's also worth noting that onions have been used in traditional medicine for centuries. Some research suggests they can help regulate blood sugar by slowing down carbohydrate absorption. A clinical trial published in Phytomedicine in 2019 found that participants who consumed onion extract experienced a measurable reduction in fasting blood glucose levels over 12 weeks. This is a promising sign for those looking for natural ways to complement their diabetes management plan. Cooking with onions and shallots is easy. They can be sautéed, roasted, or even eaten raw in salads. Unlike leeks, they blend seamlessly into a wide range of dishes without the added risk of digestive discomfort. For those who love the subtle sweetness of leeks, Caramelizing onions can provide a similar effect while being more blood sugar friendly. We all want to make smart choices when it comes to our health, and sometimes that means making small swaps in our diet. While leeks may not be the worst offender, they simply don't offer the best nutritional profile for people who need to be mindful of carbohydrates. By opting for onions or shallots instead, we can enjoy delicious meals without the worry of unwanted blood sugar spikes. Thanks for watching. We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. Drop them in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share it with those around you. And for more valuable content, be sure to follow our channel. Your support means the world to us and keeps us motivated to bring you more helpful videos. See you in the next one.